Who is an Indian citizen? Why is this question still being asked after 79 years? Introduction. Imagine being born in India, going to school here, working your entire life, voting in elections, and then one day being asked, can you prove that you are an Indian citizen? It sounds unbelievable, yet this question has returned to India's public debate once again. With discussions around the special intensive revision of electoral rolls, citizenship has once again become one of the country's most sensitive issues. But why does this debate keep returning? And after nearly 8 decades of independence, does India have a single document that conclusively proves citizenship? Let's understand the citizenship debate. India has always had concerns about illegal migration, especially in border states like Assam. Successive governments, regardless of political party, have argued that identifying illegal migrants is important for national security, demographic balance, and protecting electoral integrity. This debate has shaped India's citizenship policies for decades. The NRC. In 2003, the government introduced rules for preparing a National Register of Citizens, or NRC. The objective was to distinguish Indian citizens from illegal migrants. The largest NRC exercise took place in Assam under the supervision of the Supreme Court. When the final list was published in 2019, around 19 lakh people were excluded. The result immediately raised difficult questions. Were all those excluded actually illegal migrants? Or had genuine citizens failed to produce sufficient documentation? The controversy remains unresolved. The CAA. Soon after the Assam NRC Parliament passed the Citizenship Amendment Act, or CAA. The law created a pathway to Indian citizenship for certain religious minorities from Afghanistan, Bangladesh and Pakistan who entered India before December 31, 2014. Supporters described it as humanitarian protection for persecuted minorities. Critics questioned how the CAA would interact with the NRC and argued that the two policies reflected different approaches to determining citizenship. The debate continues. The new electoral roll revision. Now another exercise, the Special Intensive Revision, or SIR, has brought citizenship back into public discussion. According to the Election Commission, the purpose is to ensure that only eligible voters remain on electoral rolls by removing duplicate, shifted or otherwise ineligible entries. Maintaining accurate voter lists is an essential part of every democracy. However, concerns arise when citizens fear they may repeatedly need to prove their eligibility through documentation. The bigger question. This leads to an important question. What document actually proves that someone is an Indian citizen? Most Indians possess several identity documents. Aadhaar, voter ID, PAN card, passport, driving license, ration card. But surprisingly, no single document is universally recognized under Indian law as the final proof of citizenship in every situation. For example, Aadhaar establishes identity and residence for many services. The government has repeatedly clarified that Aadhaar is not proof of citizenship. Similarly, voter ID establishes eligibility to vote but is not treated as universal legal proof of citizenship in every context. Citizenship is often determined using a combination of documents, records, and legal provisions rather than one single identity card. Who faces the greatest challenge? Not everyone has the same ability to maintain decades of paperwork. People who own property and have permanent addresses often possess extensive records. But millions of Indians do not. Seasonal laborers, construction workers, street vendors, domestic workers, people who frequently migrate in search of employment. Many live in rented accommodation. Some move between districts or states several times during their lives. For them, obtaining and preserving multiple documents can be far more difficult. This is one of the major concerns raised by civil society groups during large-scale verification exercises. National security vs. citizens' rights. Every country has the right to protect its borders. Every democracy has the responsibility to maintain accurate voter rolls. But democratic governments also have a responsibility to ensure that genuine citizens are not wrongly excluded because of documentation problems or administrative errors. The challenge is balancing national security with individual rights. The questions that remain. Nearly 80 years after independence, several important questions remain unanswered. Should India create a single universally accepted proof of citizenship? How can the country identify illegal migrants while protecting genuine citizens? How can documentation systems become more accessible for people who move frequently or work in the informal economy? And how can public confidence be maintained in both citizenship verification and electoral processes? These are complex questions. They deserve careful discussion rather than political slogans. Conclusion. Citizenship is more than paperwork. It is about belonging. It is about rights. It is about participation in a democracy. The ongoing debates around the NRC, the CAA, and the special intensive revision show that India is still searching for the best way to balance national security, electoral integrity, and the rights of its citizens. Whatever solution emerges in the future, it will need to be both effective and fair. Because in a democracy, every genuine citizen should have confidence that their place in the nation is secure.